All right, let's review for test 2. So we have to, on a test, you're going to have to show your work because if you don't show how you got your answer, no credit will be given for your answer. So make sure that you know that you're showing your thinking is the most important part, like you're teaching someone else. Explain to me how you got the answer, okay? So for the first one, it says evaluate. In fact, to replace any x in the problem with a -3. So I make sure with those that I use parentheses. Oops. Okay. The reason I use parentheses, if you think about it, does that equal that? It does not. This is -1 times 3 times 3, and the other one is -3 times -3, and this is a -9 and that's a 9, so that they're not the same. Okay, so it's a good habit to use parentheses when substituting. All right, ready to evaluate. -3 times -3 is a 9. -3 minus 20 to clean that up a little bit. That's, don't need that parenthesis, but that is -3 plus a -4 is a -7. So -14 over -7. That gives me a +2. Okay. This one says simplify. And so they both need to be factored first. There's a prime number in front of the x, so it's just going to be 2 and 1. And then there's a plus and a minus. I'm not sure where yet, but I'm using factors of 3. So to get a 1, so can't put the 3 on this side, so it has to be the 3 has to go there, so it doesn't get multiplied by the 2. And to get leftover positive number, you want to put the +3, because this will be 3x minus 1. That'll work. And then this one is a 2x also. It's also a plus and a minus, but I'm not sure where it goes. Let's see, to get a 3 left over, probably not a 9. 9 minus 2 is 7, so probably not a 9. So that means a 3 and a 3. Means it has to be a 3 and a 3. And one has to be a plus and one has to be a minus, and it does matter. It only works one way. So let's see, this would be 6 and this would be 3. So I want to not add them together, I need to subtract them, and I need to be left over with a negative. So this has to be negative because that'll give you a -6 plus 3 will leave you with that. And that makes sense because to reduce, this would go away, and you're left with x minus 1, x minus 3. Okay. Next one, don't know how to factor something with an x to the third, so let's pull that out first. So I get an x squared plus a 9x plus 18. Then that'll factor to x and x. Let's see, to get an 18, to have 9, that would just be a plus and a plus, so it'd be 6 and a 3. This has a greatest common factor of x, so x plus 6 left over. And then to reduce, well, here, let's write out our answer so far so we can follow. All right, so you can see that those go away, so you're left with x plus 3 as your answer. Okay, when it's left over on top, on the numerator, you want to make sure you don't have a fraction anymore. If it's left over on the denominator on the bottom, you want to put that underneath a 1 to keep it down there, okay? But this was left over on top, so you're allowed to write it without the 1 underneath. All right. This one has the monomials. It's got a division, so keep, change, flip. Oops, sorry for the handwriting. So that means 2W12X5 over 11W3. Just leaving that to start with. Oh, I could have reduced that, but let me come back to that. Keep, change, flip is what I was concentrating on at the moment. There's a couple ways to do these. I could reduce these W's now where they are, or I could do it all together. So if you reduce this one first by itself, it would be, let's see, 2 over 11. 12 on top means 12 minus 7 is that right there. If you did it first, if you didn't do it first, then it's, let's write this out. It's W12 minus 3 minus 6. So that's W, that's minus 9. So still to the positive 3. So, and I can't do, can I do anything about the numerical coefficients? I can't. I just gotta, put them together and get a 14 and a 99. Nothing to do with that. And then I got a W3. All right, how about the X's? I've got a 5 on top, and I've got an 8 underneath, so that's a subtraction. X equals a negative 3. Wait. Yeah. Negative 3. Oh, forgot the 4. Hold on. There's a 4 right there. So that's a plus 4 because that's on top. Okay, so you have a 9, basically a 9 minus 8, which is a positive 1, which means it goes on top what you have left. Okay, but I'm showing my work as I go. If you, lots of ways to do that, but that's, I don't know, that's one way. All right, here's another monomial to reduce. See if I just reduce it while it stands there. Numerical coefficients, let's see. 7 comes out of the 7, that's just gone. 7, remember 7 over 7 is a 1. Okay, so you don't need to see that. That means we're keeping the 10 as far as numerical coefficients go. You can write the run up there if you want to. Simplified would be disappearing, but let's make sure there's still something left on top to go with it. So 12, there's 12 X's on top, and how many underneath? There's 8 underneath, a 4 and a 4. Oh, wait, yes, 4 and a 4. Make sure I got everything. So that's 8. So the 4th, and that's positive, so that goes on top. So we really don't need the 1, because there'll be something else on top to hold the 10 down. All right, and then the W's, we have 4 plus 4 minus 3. So 8 minus 3 is 5. Am I missing one? 4, 4, 3. Oh, okay. 5, and it's positive, so it is also on top. This is getting weird looking. I know it's weird, but I'm gonna write it over there. Usually you see answers with the variables in alphabetical order. So obviously it's perfectly fine to have either one of those. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm checking my key at the same time to make sure it's correct. And I'm looking for a pencil. Sorry. And I don't see one. Hang on. Can't find a pencil. Hang on a second, sorry. All right, just making sure that my key matches my video here. Okay, so moving on. Number 6, all has to be factored. Sorry, that was the answer for that one. All right. X minus a minus makes a plus and a minus. Factors of 3 are 3 and 1. I need a leftover negative, so that 3 has to be negative. That goes there. This one here, x negative in the first position means they're both negative. So that's just a 4 and a 1, or 1 and a 4. It doesn't matter. The next one's a perfect square. So perfect square minus a perfect square would be a plus and a minus 1 to makes the third term disappear in the middle. All right, and then this one, x and x, let's see, one's a negative, plus and a negative. Negative makes a plus and a negative. And 6 with factors that are 1 apart means it's not a 6 and a 1, so it must be a 3 and a 2. We want a leftover negative, so the 3 has to go here, the 2 goes there. Okay. So that means the x plus 1 goes, the x minus 3 goes, the x minus 1 goes, and you're left with x minus 4 over x plus 2. Get this last one here. Here, let's do this way. Plus x minus, this is going to be a positive 5 and a minus 3 to get a leftover positive 2. Oop, keep change flip. So let me write these over here. Keeping the first one. Minus then a positive means they're both negative. 15 would be 5 and 3. Keep the first one, change the division to a multiplication, flip the other one. So this one right here is x plus minus, that makes that a 5 and that a 3, and it goes up here. All right, this one is an x plus 4x plus 5, so that goes down here. Okay, and then reduce. You can pretend, remember, you can pretend the whole thing is, these are all game for this. So a negative 5 can come out of here. Oops, what is this here? This is supposed to, sorry, this is supposed to be x minus 3 here, and then x plus 5. So your final answer is x plus 3 over x plus 4. That's, how many pages we have? That's page 1. Let me put them on separate pages.